Nothing is difficult to imagine. Seriously, take a moment and try thinking about nothing. It doesn't take long until something turns up. However, that is how it was in the beginning. No birds, no trees, no animals, no humans, no fairgrounds, no beautiful sights, no rolling hills, just nothing. However, outside of all the nothingness that was in the beginning, there was something. And that something was God. God sat looking into nothingness, and it didn't take long before he began to imagine something. Like a writer before a blank sheet of paper, or an artist before a blank canvas, or a sculptor before a lump of clay, God looked at the nothingness. It was blank and without form. What God could see was that it was full of potential. This was going to be a masterpiece. God could feel the creative juices bubbling up inside, and then suddenly, with a great big bang, the creativity burst forth. First, when there had only been darkness, there now was light. The page was split in two, on one side dark and the other side light, on one side day and the other side night. God was pleased with what he had done, and he began to imagine even more, but that would have to wait for the next day. The next day, God looked at his masterpiece so far and decided it needed a little something more, something that created a way for the creation to really stand out. He drew an outline so that he could really focus in on one area of the canvas and make it stand out, almost a spotlight on his creation. It helped also to create a sense of dimension, a sense of near and far, of above and below. He added some beauty and painted the outline so that when the light shone on it, it turned a rich blue. This was going to be quite a masterpiece. The outline God called the sky. God was pleased with what he had done. He had lots of plans, but they would have to wait. Right now, he admired his creation. The next day, God had plans for more colour and texture. He looked at the blue outline and decided to fill it in. He added yellows and greens and browns and reds and whites and purples and blues. He started off with big broad strokes and then added detail. Whole areas were defined as land and sea, mountains and hills and valleys and rivers and ice caps. Then he took a fine brush and added the detail. He added trees and flowers. He added grass and leaves. He added fruit and vegetables in all sorts of shades and colours. What a day that had been, a flurry of creativity. God looked at it and was pleased. His creation was looking better every day, and his focal point was looking more interesting and rich. The following day would be a day to spend on the broader canvas. He aimed to show the differences between the darkness and the light. He wanted to show that the darkness was strong, but the light was stronger. And that the light was there to show off his creation. In the vastness of the darkness he placed the sun. It would give light to the earth, the name he had given to the multicoloured ball, and it would make the sky blue. The earth would reflect the light of the sun and would show off the beauty of the amazing creation that God had made. In the same way that the earth reflected the light of the sun, it also reflected the glory of the Creator. He put the moon in the sky. The moon gently reflects the light of the sun at night time. The earth, the focal point of God's creation, is never without light. It is always on show. God then speckled the canvas with more dots of light as a reminder that the dark might be strong, but the light is stronger. The first thing God created was light, and the sun and the moon and the stars serve as a reminder of the Creator who brings light out of darkness and something out of nothing. God was pleased, but he wasn't finished. God imagined things in the sea and things in the sky on the next day, things that flew and things that swam, fish and birds in all their feathery and slippery glory. all different colours and shapes and sizes, enormous sea creatures that swam through the depths. Shrimps and cod and goldfish filled the waters, the rivers and seas. The skies were filled with birds of all kinds, doves and sparrows, eagles and magpies. All of these God made to replicate themselves so that his creation would always be full of movement and beauty and colour. No matter where in his creation you were, whether under the sea or looking into the sky, you would not fail to see movement and life. God was pleased, and he was nearly finished, but not quite. This next day would be full of creativity, and a day to put the finishing touches to his masterpiece. There were things in the sky and things in the water. There was one place left, the land. There needed to be things on the land. God imagined and created all manner of animals, large ones and small ones, ones with long necks, ones with long legs, ones that jumped, ones that ran really fast, ones that crawled. He made squeaking ones, roaring ones, barking ones, bleating ones. The whole earth, the highlighted blue ball on which the light shone and showed it off against the darkness, was filled with life and was showing off the creativity of God. God was pleased, but there was something missing. The masterstroke to the masterpiece was missing. God had made an amazing creation, but he had nothing to share it with, and nothing to appreciate it. But God makes something out of nothing. He thought. What he needed was something like him, something with the power to create, something that could appreciate the richness and the diversity of the creation, and something to appreciate all of the mastery and skill that went into creating it. God thought. Then he imagined. Then he created us. Human beings, men and women, boys and girls. He gave us a creation to enjoy. He gave us the responsibility to look after his creation. He encourages us to appreciate his creation and its creator. God looked at everything he had made, and he was very pleased, because it was very good. Having looked at everything and knowing that he had created a caretaker, on the next day God rested, a well-deserved rest. I wonder what would happen next. How would the caretaker get on? What would God create next after his rest? What would God create on the first day of the next week?